Really cool question from MMA Uncensored about Alex Pereira. Is Alex Pereira the best signing by the UFC ever? Is he the best fighter to ever be signed in terms of that what was signing Alex Pereira, the best decision out of signing every other fighter? I've got to say no. I love Alex. I consider him one of the most influential fighters ever. However, there is only one fighter off the top of my head that I can think of that is even more influential than Alex. That is the Mystic Mac, Conor McGregor. The very reason why I am a UFC fan to this day. Conor brought me into that. I remember being in middle school. I wasn't even a sports fan in middle school, and I would hear about this Conor guy all over the cafeteria and the hallway. Up there with Donald Trump, because around that time Donald Trump was about to win, his first presidency. But overall, Conor's the best signing. Conor was the best decision the UFC ever made on a fighter. Conor made the UFC the fight game titan it is today. Sure, there were a lot of other fighters that gave the UFC a lot of glory. The Diaz brothers, Ronda Rousey, Frankie Edgar, Brock Lesnar. There are a ton of names that aren't coming to mind. BJ Penn. There's a ton. There's a ton of fighters. Iceman, Tito Ortiz. There are a ton of MMA fighters that gave the UFC a lot of glory and helped it grow. But Conor propelled the UFC to unexpected heights. And it had a lot to do with his beef with Khabib Nurmagomedov. But Conor himself was a showman. The way he rocked the mic, the way he fought in the octagon, it was all attention grabbing. It was all a spectacle. And sure, Alex Pereira's got, the whole MMA world screaming Chama right now, but Conor is the reason why we watch. To this day, he's the reason why we watch. When he returns to fight Max Holloway, every MMA fan will be there. Every MMA fan will be there to watch the Mystic Mac return, because the Mystic Mac has a reason for everybody watching the UFC to this day. Sure, again, the UFC had fans before Conor, but dang near every UFC fan to today, in this era of the UFC, was brought in by Conor. I would put money on that. So yeah, I think I love Alex, much respect to him, but Conor McGregor is the best signing by the UFC.